I'm Michelle from the Starling Tribune, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network. Just like the show you're listening to now, the opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 314 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, June 3rd, 2018. We are officially halfway through 2018. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't know if we'd make it.
So, who won the 311 cruise?
Who won the 311 tickets, Willie? I'm glad you mentioned that. We're going to mention that in episode 622.
Sounds fair to me.
Yep. Because by then there'll be a new group. No, we didn't auction off any 311 tickets. I'm sorry. We didn't have any. But
You
Willie,
gave them to me, everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's true. I actually gave them to Willie. That's in Willie's contract for doing this podcast is I had to give him 311 tickets if I ever got them. And the joke was on me. He set me up for it. We said, okay, we're going to have 311 tickets. And then Willie just sends me a fax, highlighted a portion, and I went, oh, shit, I owe him tickets now. So that's why we couldn't give them away, guys, because Willie was selfish and took the 311 tickets.
I mean, I get the C311 and I'm on a cruise. Can you blame me?
Where you want to? Did you start singing "I Want a Boat" or did you go on this cruise yet?
I mean, no, you haven't gave me the tickets. They haven't came through the mail.
I FedExed them to you. You should have gotten them.
No, they're not here yet.
Well, that's bad because I sent those on Monday morning. They should be there by now. So if you don't have your 311 tickets, something seems fishy here.
I didn't know West Virginia was full of bullshit.
I mean, there's some bullshit here. We do have some cows and bulls and things like that. I drive by a farm on my way to and from work every day.
I'm actually pretty sure that every state has at least one bull.
See, there you go. Then it can smell like bullshit anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's in America, not everywhere. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's a world outside of America, Chris.
Well, that's not to say you couldn't have a bull in Belgium or in Germany or the Netherlands. Now, granted, Antarctica might be difficult.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I doubt there's a bull in Antarctica. And
so here's what we're gonna do.
What the fuck's it doing
We're
there?
gonna start a GoFundMe or something like that to get a bull to Antarctica, just so there can be bullshit everywhere on every continent.
Well, here's the problem with that. We're going to run into some issues with some flat earthers. Because no one can just go to Antarctica, apparently. Because that's the wall that holds in all the water from falling off the edge of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the shit they believe?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about flat earthers. They all don't fucking agree with one thing. That's the problem. Yeah, I even talked to a flat earther and argued with them a little bit, and they even agreed that we don't agree on something. No, but Antarctica is a 205 or 250 foot wall, ice wall that holds in all the water. That is something that is apparently a lot of them do believe.
So this has been your flat earther talk on the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Willie has educated you on just what those flat earthers think, and it sounds just as crazy as I thought it would be.
Yeah, the North Pole is the center of everything.
Wait,
and
what?
It goes out. Yeah, so Antarctica is like, so the North Pole is the center and it's like flat out of it. Like think of the they like to use the UN logo.
So basically,
that.
If you took a globe and you put your finger on the North Pole and you squished it flat, that's basically how they interpret the Earth to be?
More or less. Which there's a lot of problems with that, I mean, then wouldn't it take a lot longer going from was it Cape of Good Hope? Is that the one on the southern tip of Africa?
I think so.
Yeah. And then with the southern tip of South America, it would take a lot longer to go from those 2 points than from New York to London.
Well, it's a good thing the Earth's not flat then. It makes it a lot easier to do that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, and for some reason, I don't know why they say that. Oh, how come you don't see planes flying upside down on the in the southern hemisphere? That's like, I still don't understand that part.
Because they're fucking stupid. That they can't even explain their questions.
The one I had an argument with. He actually said, "Here's the reason why gravity is not a thing: helium balloons. How come gravity's so strong, but I can just let this balloon and it just floats up?"
Yeah,
I tried to say buoyancy, and he was like, "That doesn't make any sense."
Those motherfuckers are too stupid to live. Yeah, we let them breed.
It's because the Supreme Court ruled it's unconstitutional to keep people from breeding.
Yeah, well, we should revisit that topic.
That's why you should elect Willie Nelson president.
You're kicking off your presidential campaign this morning. That's what I'm hearing here.
I've already told this on the podcast before.
Is this the official?
I will be
kickoff,
of age. I will be 35 years old the next time a president can be. I think do you have to be 35 to run your campaign, or do you have to be 35 by the time the voting happens?
I don't know. I'm not a constitutional scholar. I would assume by the time you are voted in, but I am not well versed in constitutional law.
Because I will be 35 before November. So, like, my birthday's in October, so boom, I'll be 35. So, you think that'd be allowed, right?
So candidate Willie Nelson, who do you plan on having as part of your cabinet if you had to pick now? Like, who do you want as your vice president and things like that? Let us know.
Ooh, I mean,
you need a chief of staff. You need a secretary of state.
Secretary of Medieval Titties.
I mean, I'm gonna dual roll that one.
Wait, does that mean you have to put medieval titties in a blind trust if you become president?
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, as long as it stays living, what do I care?
All right, fair enough. So you got to think, who would you want to be part of the Willie Nelson administration?
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna be honest here, you guys.
What are we, like the secretaries of bullshit?
No, you're gonna be my VP, Chris.
Oh, I'm gonna be the VP. That's a bad thing.
Mr. Secretary over there too.
Secretary
I believe in you.
Of what though?
Of all.
Secretary of everything.
Secretary of all.
Yep, there you go.
That's a lot of work.
I'll let you have some subordinates.
Well, what's Naki's role in this administration?
Oh, she's gonna be over the awesomeness cabinet.
The awesomeness cabinet. We're making new cabinet positions, eh?
You see, you assume I know everything about how the government works.
That's okay. Well, you don't need to.
I'm figuring I can just
never
take everything as it comes.
Well, we've seen how well that approach works. So
yeah, not at all.
Hey, but they were elected president still, so what's the problem?
Oh man,
why can't I do it?
This makes me have to be Mike Pence to your Donald Trump, and this really worries me.
Whoa! Why am I Donald Trump? Do you see a wig on my head?
Not yet, but I figure all that beard hair you've cut off, you're gonna put on your head.
Oh, I can just not reach it. It's right there.
Draftsman has suggested that he can be your secretary of Tig Old Biddies, or rather your chief of staff. So Draftsman's in.
Both.
Yeah, you get both positions, Draftsman. It's done.
Actually, how about this, Bachman? I want you over all the military.
Cool.
You got more experience than anybody else I know, so
fair enough.
You're the mightiest of all my seamen.
I knew that was going there. I really wish I could say I was surprised too.
I haven't been a seaman for a long time.
You're still my mightiest. You're probably the best swimmer I got.
Well, there's a suggestion in the chat room, Willie. You need Jesse the Body Ventura to be your VP because he has actual government experience.
I mean, I'm getting the whole band back together. I'm getting Jesse. I'm getting Arnold. I'm getting Shane Black. Whoever else.
You can't get the whole band because the guy that played Billy the Indian is dead.
Yeah, I mean, I can get his ghost. I mean,
wait, is Carl Weathers dead?
No, he is not. He is alive.
Carl Weathers still alive? Okay.
Are we talking about the Rocky series? Yeah, he's dead.
Well, no, I know Apollo Creed is dead.
The actor is still alive.
I couldn't remember if Carl Weathers was alive or not because I haven't seen him in anything since Happy Gilmore. He doesn't seem to work often anymore.
Or I can go completely Saints Row with this and have
Keith David.
God,
as your
Keith
vice
David as my
president.
VP.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I can get behind that, but you have to make him wear the cape costume.
All right, never mind. Canceled. Just like
Just
that
like
fucking
the
show. I didn't even know he was in that. You know why? Because I watched 10 minutes of it. And I was like, oh no, I can't. No.
I can let you borrow the whole series on DVD.
That's okay.
Once again, I watched 10 minutes of it and I said, no, I'm washing my hands of this. This smells. I don't know. This that stink stayed for a good 2 weeks too.
We're getting
Like
all
someone
sorts,
had me a chocolate covered pretzel with a stink palm.
we're getting all sorts of suggestions here in the chat room for cabinet positions or governmental positions. Draftsman suggested Naki as the press secretary. At first, I thought that's because he hated her or something, but then I realized no, he's going for humor because he says she would start every press briefing with "No, you dense idiots," and I would pay to see that.
I'm okay with that completely.
I would.
And she would wrap up every press briefing with making bacon pancakes.
And then hopefully we'll have a chef on board to actually make those bacon pancakes. And I'll be there and saying, hey, everybody, I'm going to steal one of these and I'm out of here. Peace.
Let's see. Sailor Poland suggesting Richard Stallman for FTC and Linus Torvalds for technology. He could be one of the science advisors.
Willie's
Sure.
having trouble with those words, so
No, the names. I don't know who those are.
Who's going to be the secretary of debunking flat earthing?
I mean, my gun.
Draftsman on the next Arrested Development. Well, Willie, I think you're going to make America interesting again.
I mean, we're going to make that hat. Well, we're going to have an orange hat just because that's my favorite color.
how about no colored hats at all? Because it's
But
a
that's
sign
my
of
favorite
stupidity.
color. That's my favorite color. That's going to be my banner and everything. Fuck blue or red. It's going to be fucking orange. It's
Put
a
an orange
happy color.
handkerchief in your lapel.
So, what is your campaign motto going to be? What's the tagline we're going to see on a Willie Nelson for President commercial?
Drag this Willie across America.
I don't know about that one.
It serves you right for asking.
Yeah, I should have known better, really. God damn it.
We'll start in the Shenandoah River. All the way over to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Well, let's see. Suncast seems to think our mascot is our statement is too self-serving. Sailor Poland says, I'm with Willie Nelson. Vote for me if you want to live. That should be the statement.
I told you we're bringing up the entire Predator movie cast here.
Can you have the actual Willie Nelson run the Food and Drug Administration?
You goddamn right we can.
Now that would be awesome.
See?
I mean,
have good
for as long
ideas.
as he lives.
Legal weed nationwide.
As long as he lives. And we're going to tax the shit out of it.
I love our chat room right now.
No
Lowlife
offense.
Futaku has an idea for you. It's insert Willie into the White House.
I think Bill Clinton already did that.
Good old
Oh,
Slick
Slick Willie. I can't compete with that one.
Oh, Charlie Sheen for Food and Drug Administration is a suggestion.
I
no.
don't need that much cocaine in America.
Don't
Nobody
forget the Tiger
does.
Blood.
There's going to be no war on drugs. That's a fucking stupid war that you would never win.
And Willie, we're not going to tax the hell out of weed. We're going to lower the tax out of weed, make it legal nationwide, and quadruple the taxes on tobacco and alcohol. Because those actually fucking kill people.
Yeah, but you got to get that through Congress, and that's going to be near impossible, let alone legalizing weed.
Not with Willie's list and his gun.
No.
No,
I'm
don't go
okay.
down that path.
I'm okay with alcohol and tobacco with lowering lies, mostly because I smoke, and also because 2 billion people is also part of my platform.
Oh, I don't want to be part of this platform anymore then.
All of a sudden, now Chris is backing off.
You have no fucking choice. Head of military, arrest that
Wait,
man.
wait.
He's going to be my VP whether he likes it or
So
not.
you're saying I either act as
You
your
have been
vice
drafted.
president or I get put on the list.
No, you will be VP. You have no choice in the matter.
So
You've been drafted, Chris.
When you go to the primary debates, when you're debating someone and they say something you don't agree with or that's just dumb, you can turn and look at them and be like, "You just made the list."
There you go.
There's your.
Give me an example. Give me an example here, and I'll react to it.
I think your plan to legalize marijuana and to not tax alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is a terrible idea, candidate Nelson.
Well, here's the funny thing about this. As I casually start walking to him, you know what? Also, you probably don't like too, but the rest of this room and everyone watching on TV is gonna like dick punch, just straight dick punch.
Oh wow, he's bringing back the Tim Tom campaign promises.
Oh, he will be lifted up too with that powerful punch. It's gonna be a cartoon.
He's going to resurrect Bruce Lee just to dick punch people.
Oh no, that'd be a swift kick to the nutsack. I believe in his punches, but his kicks are probably way more powerful.
Okay, Draftsman, I like that one. Vote Willie. You could do worse, and in fact, we know half of you already have.
Less than half, but yeah.
I like this plan for Willie Nelson for president. I think that's going to be the name of this episode is Willie Nelson for president. It was going to be Willie versus Flat Earthers, but this is better. And
just saying, if I ever really do run for president, I hope no one goes back to this. This is going to be a skeleton in the closet for sure.
Yeah, you realize anybody who's ever had a podcast has basically given up the right to ever run for public office.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true in today's world.
2020, motherfuckers.
Because everything you said is in the public, and so it can all be referenced. So
yeah, and let's look and see what that did this last election. Oh, it didn't.
Vote Willie president 2020 because that's your vision for the future. Get it? Because 2020.
I kind of like that one. That one's got some wit to it. I like it. Good job, Willie.
I have my gyms every now and then.
You're gonna need them a lot when you're the leader of the free world. What's your plan? All right, one last question before we move on to the news of the week, because I want to know this. What's your plan for peace in the Middle East, Willie?
All right. I mean,
I might regret I just asked this. I just realized.
Yeah, you might, because it's never been a good question to ask anybody in the history of ever. So.
I was hoping he was just going to make a weed joke out of it, but now I'm really afraid of what he might say.
Oh, I mean, I don't do those kind of drugs, Chris.
You don't have to do those drugs to suggest it as an alternative to peace.
I mean, should it be legal? Sure. I mean, who the fuck cares what you do in your own home? If you're a true Republican, you shouldn't think the government should have control over you. That's what Republicans were founded on.
Yeah, they don't believe in anything that they believe in anymore. So
I know that's the problem.
We're going dangerously close to real politics here. Let's go back to the humor of Willie's plan.
Real politics.
Peace in the Middle East.
I'm a little bit in the middle. I do lean toward the Republican side, I would say, just because of those founding ideals. But yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. So there, I'm not a Republican or Democrat in this race.
He's running as an independent. Willie Nelson for president.
Yeah, I don't need those assholes voting me in or not. I'm doing myself a service for America.
That's a bold move. I mean, you don't have to make it to the primaries and stuff like that. You just be on the ballot. The question is, could you get on the ballot in all states? But that's something we can tackle as we get closer to 2020 and we have a clearer vision of things to come.
And this is line us under shit I don't actually fully know. That's why I got you guys for.
Man, you got to be the front. You're the front man of all this, though. You're the face. You're the one that people have to vote for.
Oh yeah, I'll be the face, but the knowledge and shit. I mean, you guys need to help me on that shit.
Yeah, because we've got that kind of knowledge. You're talking to a bunch of people that get on the internet and complain about comic books and movies and things like that. They're not really real world issues.
I mean, do you know how many geeks are in America?
A lot.
Enough to probably vote me president.
That's true.
We can only
hope. I am one of you. Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that one. That one's pretty good too. Now, real quick, just so we've got it on tape and I can reuse it for other things, I need you to say, "I'm Willie Nelson and I approve this message."
I'm Willie Nelson and I approve this message.
So all of our fans out there, feel free to use that to make your own fake political
hold
ads.
Hold on a
Willie
second.
Nelson.
Question from Sailor Poland. How exactly did the Defiant dock with DS9 since it docked through the defector's dish? Well, I'm gonna do what any good president does. I'm gonna deflect this question to my VP. I'm gonna be over here finishing the cigarette.
Defer the question, not deflect the question.
Well,
I'm deflecting it.
So from what I recall, it docked like right above the deflector dish. Like the whole nose cone docked into things, but like the actual ports or whatnot, or the portways or whatnot, were part of the nose above the deflector. So I think that's how they did it. I would have to go back and rewatch some DS9 episodes, or go and find one of the old technical manuals that I used to have when I was younger that was like the technical manual of Deep Space Nine and the Defiant and blah 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 blah.
And nice. See, I answered that question correctly by deflecting it to Chris. Just because I'm one of you doesn't mean I have all the answers. But the people around me do.
That's Willie Nelson, and he approved this message.
And I approve this message.
Vote Willie in 2020.
Drag this Willie across America.
I think you really need to work on a better tagline.
Who's running for president, me or you, Chris?
Well, if you want to win, I think you need a better tagline that's not a little more subtle in your dick talk.
If they're voting for me, they know they're not voting for subtlety.
That's a valid point.
All right, I retract my statement. You're right. Statement withdrawn.
It's okay. I'll allow it.
Thank you, Judge Nelson.
Hey. I do want you to argue with me. That is A-okay. I know I can be wrong. I know I can be fixed. I allow it.
So evidently I might have two jobs in this administration, vice president and press secretary, when Naki's unavailable.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, when Naki's not available, I mean, yeah.
Have you made Naki aware of the fact that you want her to be your press secretary?
Did you have a choice in this matter?
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
You see, I got quick answers here. I mean, you can't stop the Willie.
Oh, I like this one. Willie, he's up for the challenge. That's pretty good. I like that one, Lolai Futaku.
That's not on the nose enough. I mean, I'll probably end up using it. I mean, I'm not going to steal it. I'm definitely going to say, from Low Life Otaku, Willie, he's up for the challenge. Oh, I need to. He's up for the challenge.
Did you just dick punch someone as you did that?
No, you had no. This no, my fist is the dick because it's going up.
Oh, I thought you were dick punching someone.
Ooh.
I mean, because you got to punch up if you're Tim Tom.
No, I gotta have a more Arnold say, like a line for that. One liner for that one. There's gotta be two separate things.
That might be a little too on the nose, Sailor Poland. Willie, a dick who hangs around a couple of nuts.
That's pretty good.
It's good. It's just really on the nose.
I mean, who doesn't enjoy a good dick nosing?
No, I'm not going to take the bait. I'm not taking the bait. I don't want to know.
Good, because I had no idea where I was going with that one.
Well, now I wish I'd taken the bait.
Well, too late.
It is too late. But guys, I think we've got some good positive motion here on the Willie Nelson for President campaign. We'll have to talk about it a little bit more in the future, though, because we have other pressing things to talk about, such as our News of the Week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the News of the Week.
So you might have thought the News of the Week is Willie's running for president. But no. We've got other news to recap during the News of the Week, that portion of the show where we run down the most interesting nerdy news to have come up in the last week. And Willie, aside from your presidential aspirations, what news came up this week that you're interested in?
Well, something popped up on Twitter, and it piqued my interest, even though I haven't really played many of the games. The SETA did put up something of a countdown, or not really a countdown, just like a please stand by, if you will. And it turns out they're coming out with a new Fallout game, Fallout 76. And I'm a little weirded out because did I miss 71 Fallout games?
I knew it had a lot of sequels, but damn.
No, but apparently this is going to be based on Vault 76, and the what we know of this Fallout from other Fallout games that they've talked about it, that this is one of the control Fallout vaults that they didn't actually do any weird evil experiments on. This is just a normal vault, and it was set to open up 20 years after the bombs dropped. But this apparently game, if you can take it from the Pip-Boy, has a date on it. It is set 25 years after the bombs fell, so we're not too sure fully of what's going on. But we can have some speculations and little tidbits they told us. It probably will not be a standard Fallout game, like a regular RPG. It's probably going to be more someone that we're thinking that it's probably going to be more of like a survival game, kind of like Ark or 7 Days to Die, Rust, those type of Conan, those type of games. It might have some multiplayer to it. There's been some ideas from it, like from that little tiny trailer. There is a board game with like 5 different player characters on the side of the box. So who knows? You might be playing with like 4 other people in it. So I'm grasping at straws here. There's not a lot of information about this.
A lot of people think it's going to be set in eastern West Virginia, if that makes sense. The areas that border along DC and things like that.
Which is near the DC wastelands, if you correctly remember.
And if you want to talk real history, there were places in West Virginia, such as the Greenbrier Resort, that had like a giant bunker built in it that was supposed to be a fallback location in the event that Washington, D.C. got nuked.
So this is going to be interesting. Like, there's no release date, but I mean, if we're going to see more of it probably during E3, which is what, next week?
I think it might be the week after that. I don't know. Let me look. Do a Google search.
I think June 10th. I'm not sure what day it is today.
It's June 12th through June 14th. So it is a week after this.
So we're probably definitely going to hear more. But if you remember how they did Fallout 4, they pretty much dropped the trailer for it, and it was released, like 3 months later? Like, it was, like, quick, like, from announcement to release. So, who knows? I remember there were some jokes. Like, what could this announcement mean? Oh, you can now play Skyrim on the Pip-Boy in Fallout 4. Because that game's fucking released for everything. I can play fucking Skyrim on my toaster.
I want a toaster that plays Skyrim. Maybe.
Chris would buy one if there was one.
Well, I don't know. Does it toast bagels also? Because I got rid of my last toaster because it didn't fit bagels.
I don't even have a fucking toaster.
What kind of toaster can't fit bagels?
It didn't have slots big enough for bagels. It was quite disheartening.
Yeah, shave your bagels down.
You don't shave a bagel down?
Hey, don't tell a man to shave his bagel.
Yeah.
If you want to fit in your toaster, do that.
What I do with my bagels, my own business, Mr. President.
That's what you fucking think.
Willie's first executive order. You got to shave your bagels in the White House.
He's coming for your bagels.
He's coming for my bagels.
I'm just saying, if you want them to fit in the toaster, it just makes sense to shave it down. If it's not big enough, make the item you're putting in small enough.
But then you're wasting a lot of bagel.
Or cut your bagel into 3s instead of 2s. Even though they already come pre-sliced,
Yeah,
right?
Most of them are pre-sliced anymore.
Well, I mean, I'm giving you solutions, man. I mean, I'm not trying to make more problems for you. No. I didn't buy your toaster for you. You started that problem.
That was a gift,
me.
actually, my toaster.
Shitty gift, wasn't it?
Well, it was actually pretty cool because it looked like Darth Vader's helmet and it burnt the Star Wars logo into the side of the toast.
Well, cool. Here's the problem now, then. You're looking at more form over function. I'm a more function over form kind of guy.
Well, isn't the function that I want it to toast a bagel?
Once again, I didn't buy. This wasn't a gift from me.
Sure, it wasn't.
I haven't. Are you trying to say it was? You son of a bitch. I still haven't got those 311 tickets, you motherfucker.
I told you you'd have to wait. I FedExed them. They should be there any day now.
Leave it. I didn't get no confirmation delivery number thing.
I didn't pay extra for confirmation delivery. You just said you wanted the tickets.
Am I going to have to fire my VP already for some bullshit?
I'm not your VP yet.
Motherfucker, you're going to be VP because I'm going to be elected president. This is just a known fact.
You just fire me, I'm going to run against you.
Oh, you're creating competition. That's not good.
That's not allowed. You are going to be my VP.
So what you're saying is I'm either your VP or I'm on the list. That's what I'm taking away from
Once
it.
again, this list is not a construct of mine. I want to reiterate that multiple times.
Does this list exist in the Fallout world too?
I don't. This list. You tell me. This is apparently
The
your
internet.
list. Huh?
So, Willie, before we get off of your news story, then, based off what you've heard about Fallout 76, if you had to make a decision today as to whether you'd be getting it and playing it, what do you think?
With the information known today, I would say no because there's nothing known about it really.
Not even your trust in Bethesda would make you think you should do it?
I have trust in Bethesda.
Most
Where did
people
that come
do.
from?
They're one of the better companies out there.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yeah,
How many
somebody
bugs
else
do
put
their
that in the
games get
chat
released with?
How many what now?
How many bugs do their games get released
Well,
with?
they get patched at least. It's not like Batman Arkham Origins where they're like, oh, we're never going to patch this shit. And you're like, oh.
Well, I mean, that's on PC, and PC is where Bethesda is probably where they care more about, and which I'm a little against. Like, they don't. Console, I guess. We'll patch it eventually.
We'll get to it at some point, maybe.
I
don't
mean,
know.
Skyrim for the PS3 was literally unplayable. When you start moved enough items, the game says, I don't know what the fuck to do. You're frozen. Your game's
That's
done.
not good.
Start over.
Oh, it like locked up and just killed it?
Pretty much. Like you had to start your game over. From what I remember, like if you moved like enough items where like enough of the original spots or something was just off, it would pretty much say you're done. I'm saying throughout the entire world of Skyrim because all those items, like if you put them in one house and you go all the way to the other side, they're still in the house when you come back.
Huh. That's odd.
Like you just put a bunch of wheels of cheese in someone's random bed.
You know, if someone put a wheel of cheese in my bed, I wouldn't be too upset because then I could just have cheese.
And if they go to the other side of the country and they come back to your house, that cheese is still going to be there.
I mean, if it's sealed properly and waxed, that's okay.
Yeah, but if your computer's thinking about it the whole time you're on the other side of the planet, it's coded wrong.
Look, that cheese is important.
Well,
It
that's
should be
Bethesda
thinking
for you.
about it.
Is there a reason you can't pronounce the word Bethesda?
What am I saying? Bethesda?
Bethesda?
Bethesda.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh,
I don't know if you're saying it wrong on purpose because you don't like the company, or if you just actually can't say the word Bethesda.
No, I like the company. They just need
Okay.
to start releasing their games without bugs. See, there's a bug in my speech program.
Okay,
That's-
so when you say the word Bethesda, it comes out Bethesda, and you haven't been patched yet.
Exactly.
I'm not sure
Okay.
that a future presidential candidate should be saying there's a bug in their speech program because
Oh,
you need to be able to
president
speak
can't
to the
joke?
people.
It sure doesn't hurt anybody from what we've seen. So
Okay, that's a fair point. So let's move on to our next story here. Let's stay in the world of video games. This last Tuesday, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo dropped a ton of information about their upcoming Pokemon game for the Switch. Interestingly enough, most of it was leaked ahead of time, like months ahead of time, on a Reddit thread, and most of it ended up being true. So what is Pokemon doing? They're dropping Pokemon Let's... I'm sorry, Willie?
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Well,
Well,
they're doing bullshit.
let me describe the backstory of this, and then you can explain why it's bullshit, okay? So they are dropping 2 games entitled Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. They will be coming to the Switch on November 16th for $60. So what is
Bullshit one and bullshit two.
What is Pokemon Let's Go? They basically have described it as a remake of Pokemon Yellow. It's going to take people back to the Kanto region where the original games were set. You're going to start off in Pallet Town, meet Professor Oak, and encounter the 151 original Pokemon.
Okay, this explains the meme I saw the other day, because I had not heard this news, and I saw a picture of an Eevee, like, stuffed animal coming into a door, like walking into a bedroom, and it said, "Mom says you've been the spokesman or the mascot for the company long enough."
Yep, that's pretty much what's going on.
They were talking to Pikachu, saying, "Step aside, bitch."
They are doing 2 versions of this game, as those 2 titles would indicate. You have one game where Pikachu is your starter and follows you around, the other one where Eevee is your starter and follows you around. Now, you cannot evolve your starter Pokemon in this case. The one that follows you around is always going to be a Pikachu or an Eevee. You can't evolve them into, say, a Raichu or into a Vaporeon or something like that.
Did you really forget the names of the?
I did have a moment
Eevee?
there where I forgot.
Yeah, because it's Catfish,
Vaporeon,
Hot Fluff,
Flareon,
and Electric Fish.
Those were only 3 that were in the first in the first Red and Blue.
They have,
but I guess it's fucking yellow.
They have stripped out some stuff that you've seen in a lot of the Pokemon games lately. Let's see. You'll be able to trade between systems. However, there's no breeding and no eggs. So what's really the big difference here in Pokemon Let's Go? Well, they've taken some of the stuff that worked in Pokemon Go and they've brought it into this game. So when you go to catch a Pokemon, the same mechanic you have in Pokemon Go of physically flinging a ball out there, you do it in this case. You take the Joy-Con and you're throwing with the Joy-Con to capture the Pokemon. Willie, what's wrong?
Are you fucking serious?
I am serious. They are, in fact, even releasing a new controller for the low sum of $50. That is a Pokeball with a joystick in the middle of it that you can use to control the game. And not only that,
because that's what people loved about the Wii was all the peripherals you could fucking buy for it.
It's Pokemon, man.
About Wii. Woo!
It's Pokemon. Well, here's where they make it interesting to make you care more about it. It's not just a controller. You can also take the Pokemon that you capture in the game and put them in the Pokeball and take them around with you, where your steps give them extra experience and they make noises inside. However, Suncast brings up a good point in the chat room. This Pokeball accessory only has a 3-hour battery life, which is pretty shitty.
Wow. Yeah, that's... Oh, no, actually, that's... Now that I think about it, for a certain group of people, that's perfect. That's the Pokemon Go players that literally would get the steps when they walk to their car and then go to work, and then get the steps when they leave work and walk, from their home back to their car.
Fair enough. So going into the gameplay, it's going to be similar catching mechanic as you've seen in Pokemon Go. However, the battles when you're fighting NPCs and villains, that should be roughly the same as what we've experienced in past Pokemon games. What's gotten really cool, though, is there's drop-in 2-player co-op. So each player gets a Joy-Con, and then you can have 2 players working together to capture Pokemon or to defeat villains on Team Rocket and stuff like that. The battles look really cool. The graphics look really cool. And they are making it so that you can cross over with Pokemon Go to an extent. You can take Pokemon from Pokemon Go and put them in your Pokemon Park, I guess is what it's called, on the new game that's coming to the Switch. You can't take them and play them in the main game, but you can take the Pokemon you've caught, put them in a park, interact with them, do some stuff like that. And you can also transfer stuff from Pokemon on Switch to unlock Pokemon on Pokemon Go. So it can theoretically allow you to catch other Pokemon, supposedly one of which is a Pokemon that has never been seen before in any of the games, will unlock by connecting Pokemon Go on your cell phone to the Pokemon Switch game. But
They're running out of ideas of designs for Pokemon. I'm just going to say that.
Though that's entirely possible. The interesting thing is, this is not the new evolution of Pokemon. 2019, you get the next game that is in the Pokemon series for real. That's what is it, like Gen 9 or whatever? Something like that.
That's my problem.
The traditional Pokemon game. This is Nintendo saying, hey, let's try something different with this new Pokemon game. Let's toss it out there and see what people like. It's a little different, Willie.
Oh, something different. This is a 3rd remake of fucking Red and Blue, or Red and Green if you're in Japan.
But with a different control mechanic and with 2-player drop-in co-op.
3rd remake, if you count Yellow, which I do.
Well, it sounds like it's basically them trying to get as many Pokemon Go players as they can interested in the actual console Pokemon, finding that halfway step, so that then those people will be around to buy the next Pokemon in 2019.
Why is this not the next fucking core game in the series?
Because they honestly, in all seriousness, they probably weren't ready for the next core game, and this is something they could have ready by this year. Because there's been so much buzz. There's been so much buzz behind it. And Willie, I do have to agree with something Sailor Poland said. Yeah, how many times are they going to remake Final Fantasy VII also?
They
promised to.
I mean, they haven't yet. They haven't even done it once yet.
I thought they got one of the remakes out, or was that a different Final Fantasy?
Those are like, I think you're talking about like the PC and on the PS4. Those weren't like remakes like you were thinking of. Those were like just like they just port. It's a port. That's all those are.
Okay. So
they did do the they didn't like make the graphics good. They just made it so it runs better. That's about it.
I will say I tend to agree with Suncast a little bit. He goes, I think it's kind of their attempt to throw people that don't want to actually go out and play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yes. So, in all seriousness, I knew this game was going to be bought in my house anyways because my fiance loves all the Pokemon games. So, I will lose my Switch probably for about 3 months for her to play through the first one multiple times and then probably go and buy whichever one she doesn't buy the first time to play through it again because that's how it always works on these things. But I'm actually intrigued to try it out. The 2-player co-op is what has me really interested, actually. Willie, you're not interested in this one bit, are you?
No, of course. I want to flare my arms all about and throw Pokemon things instead of, just go button press. Oh, that's so much easier.
But that's what you'll get in the regular core games. So, I mean...
Hopefully!
Presumably, they're not going to change all the mechanics of the core game. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to remind me. Here, I'm going to clip this right now. So you guys can go back to Twitch and let me know. Here it is. Presumably, they're not going to change the Pokemon catching mechanics in the core games. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know next year. This is getting clipped and going in this Twitch feed's clips. So you can find it a year from now if I'm wrong.
Now I wonder, are you going to be able to transfer Pokemon from your 3DS to a Switch?
I presume they'll probably have to. What is it? The Pokemon Vault or something like that they have. That's the service you can buy.
Yeah, the paid service.
Yes, there's a paid service. So I wonder if they will use that to make a pathway to transfer Pokemon from your 3DS to the next Pokemon core game. Or does the DS have Bluetooth on it?
I don't know.
I don't know. If it does, you could just pair the systems in Bluetooth, connect them that way, and send stuff. Because that's how they're moving Pokemon between Pokemon Go and the Switch game.
I mean, it's Nintendo. Who knows what the fuck they put in that fucking thing?
Well, who knows how they're going to handle some other stuff. Like, did you see, side note, they put the Mario Tennis beta out this weekend or whatever it is. And it's been rough because the matchmaking when it comes to latency has been garbage. So people are trying to play someone and they lag out.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, the online service not looking good. If you want me to pay $20 a year and not be able to play Mario Tennis online, is what a lot of people are saying on Reddit and Twitter.
You've seen Nintendo; they prioritize online play.
Look, the only reason I want the online service is because that's how you get the cloud backup, and I don't want to lose my Zelda save. I'll pay $20 not to lose my Zelda save.
Well, that's easy. Just don't mess up your little SD card.
It doesn't save to the SD card. That's the problem. Or I would just do that.
I know, that's a joke.
Yeah. The whole saving mechanic and online mechanic stuff on the Switch is really weird. But regardless, the new Pokemon game sounds interesting. Personally, I'm more interested in the Gen 9 game or whatever it actually ends up being next year.
Exactly.
But this could be interesting. I'm sure there's tons of Pokemon fans out there that are going to play it anyways.
Are you going to get that little ball too?
Hell no.
The 3-hour ball?
Not for $50. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's ridiculous, you say.
I'm not going to buy it. That doesn't mean my fiance won't buy it.
I mean, how's that Labo doing you?
I haven't bought a Labo because
exactly,
I think it's dumb.
It's fucking ridiculous too.
I don't disagree with you, Willie. But hey, I kind of also like at the same time, while I might think it's ridiculous, Nintendo is taking some chances with some really weird stuff. And that's how you get cool new ideas out there. So while Labo
they think we're cats. They think we want to play in cardboard boxes.
While Labo is not for me necessarily, I know plenty of my friends that have kids and things like that, or nieces and nephews that really do like Labo. They're the target, not you and me.
Hey kids, continue being dumb. We're gonna sell you this stupid shit.
Good lord. Yeah, I guess that's the case there. So Willie
for president.
Willie
kids
for
are
president.
dumb.
Well, while Riley's rethinking his run for president, Anthony, why don't you fill us in with what your news is for this week?
I'm just now updating it because I changed my mind.
Oh, that's why it's been moving up and down on
I
me.
have perfect timing.
Yes, you do. Well, the one I was going to talk about because I forgot the one I liked, but yeah. Legion's coming back, so yay, cool. But yeah, that show's awesome. We should have known it was coming back. They were just slow on it.
Well, I didn't even know it was in season 2. That's what I was going to mention.
Yeah, they're still in season 2, but yeah, they got the renewal. But no, the news that I heard this week that I wanted to talk about was they're doing an adaptation of Jason Pearson's Body Bags, which apparently now the working title is Dogtown, which kind of sucks that they're changing it. I like the name Body Bags because it makes sense in the world. But they're talking about having Dave Bautista play the main character, Mac, also known as Clownface. Excuse me. If for those that don't know, it was a Dark Horse miniseries back in the day. And it's a hugely popular trade paperback, and it's one of those projects that it's a love-hate thing where Jason Pearson, the creator and writer and artist of it, I mean, he does all the work on it, I think, except maybe the lettering. And it's one of those things where it's his creation, he wholly owns it, and he loves it, but he hates working on it. So, kind of like Dan Harmon with all the stuff he's working on. You hate working on something, but you love having a finished product. And the finished product is awesome because Body Bags is a great series. They have the write-up in the article. They explain it as 15 seconds into the future, criminals are protected by so many laws the police are no longer effective. Enter the bounty hunters, or as they're known on the street, body baggers. When the cops can't take the bad guys down, they hire out to bring the most dangerous fugitives in, dead or alive. The action begins when a rival bagger goes after Mac, a.k.a. Clownface, the best bounty hunter in the business. Fuel is quickly added to the fire with the sudden arrival of Panda, Mac's estranged daughter. How will the baddest man in Terminus, Georgia, handle a 14-year-old girl determined to follow in her daddy's footsteps, and does she really know what she's getting into? And so the idea of having Dave Bautista as like one of the world's greatest killers in a world where other people are trying to take him out, and he's dealing with the fact that his daughter has now come back to live with him, and she wants to be just like daddy. Like, I can't wait to see that. Batista has grown so much as an actor. If you see some of his early films right as he left the WWE, some of them are cringeworthy bad. And then you see the stuff that the work he's done up through the Guardians and some of the other films he's done in between. There's one, I can't remember what it was called. It was like, it had a weird title like Hoboken or something. It's an alien invasion in New Jersey. And it's literally just him on the run, and this lady helps him, so he ends up trying to help her. And he's just trying to get to his wife and kid. And it is a fantastic film. As an actor, he has grown leaps and bounds. So I'm super stoked with the idea of him carrying what would have to be an R-rated comic book movie, because it's ultra bloody. And they mentioned in the write-up that it would be like a Deadpool-type movie. The awesome thing is that attached right now is Kyle Ward, the writer of John Wick 2. So if you get a John Wick writer on the screenplay of a badass comic book property and Dave Bautista to star in it, this could be a solid action flick.
Yeah, it sounds like something you could just put out. Think like when John Wick originally came out, like the February time frame, which was, we're going to put an action movie out that you guys are probably going to like, but we're not 100% sold that it would work in the summertime. And it did gangbusters because there hasn't been solid action flicks that are...
Yeah.
How's the best way to describe it? Think like John Wick, like where the action's well done, there's a story that sort of makes sense, and it's not just over-the-top ridiculousness. Don't get me wrong, I like the Fast and the Furious movies. They're fun to me. They're popcorn movies, but that's not like the action movies I remember growing up with.
Yeah, and they're excessively over the top. The John Wick, it's a much more grounded, just solid standard action film, where this wouldn't be like that, but it would be in the vein of like, a standard, not really superhero story, but something where it's a world that's like John Wick, where there's that excessive things, but it's still people with guns and knives trying to kill other people. The producer said they aim for a budget of 30-40 million, hoping to bring in 100. Which let's see, Walter said that Bold Films, the production company behind the film, wants to make baby blockbusters. So kind of like the Blumhouse idea. If you don't put 200 million into a movie, you don't need to try to make 400 million back. So you make a lower budget film, and those are the budget films that a lot of people have been saying Hollywood doesn't want to make anymore. They want films either under 5 million or over fucking like 200 million. That middle ground is really missing right now in a lot of Hollywood studios.
Yeah, I'd be interested in it. What about you, Willie?
I want to read the original comic, but I seem to can't.
Are you still waiting for your copy of the original trade from the Kickstarter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still
For those that don't know, Jason Pearson's been working on Body Bags Don't Die Until I Kill You for, what is it now, a little over 2 years?
I cannot remember.
It's been a while. But in all fairness, yeah, he's doing a full another original graphic novel, writing it, drawing it, I believe inking it and coloring it. And it's behind schedule, like a lot of Kickstarters are, because he also, I believe, still works as a freelance artist. So he's working on other stuff as well while trying to put this book out. And so, yeah, it's one of those ones that's fallen way behind schedule to the point where Jason Pearson had actually stopped updating the Kickstarter. And so a lot of people were getting worried that it wasn't coming out at all. You know, he's had some kind of like public flare-ups where, you know, fans have bitched at him and he kind of gets pissed off. But he did the smart thing and he hired a friend to actually do the last update to say, hey, Jason's not really good at this whole talking to the public stuff. I am, and here's what's going on. And they kind of broke down what's happening and the fact, you know, Jason Pearson is still working on the book. It's behind schedule, but he's still planning on finishing it. It's just, you know, a lot of times when you do that passion project that ends up falling behind schedule, and then you're having to pick up other work to pay your bills because you've already been paid for that one. You know, it gets problematic for some of these, you know, independent artists, independent contractors, where, you know, these freelancers, they don't have that steady paycheck that's coming in that's paying the rent while they're trying to work on multiple different comic book projects. I'm trying to find it in my list, but yeah, I've backed a couple hundred Kickstarters, so it's.
Yeah, you're like the king of Kickstarter on these things.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Actually, that's why I actually Kickstarted, because that's how you did it.
Yeah, and I love the original. And actually, yeah, one of the things I was happy about is I want another copy of the original trade, because the original trade is fucking hard to find. And like a first printing of it actually goes for a fair amount of money now, because that first run they did so few of them. And I actually have the original miniseries. I have the first 4 issues, which took a while to track down. That was one of the harder projects I had when I was building my comic collection, of actually finding all 4 issues of Body Bags. Yeah, the artwork on it is gorgeous, though. Jason Pearson is a hell of an artist, and it's a fun story. So it's definitely, it's one of those things. I'm not sad that I backed it. I'm just sad that it's taken so long for the new one to come out. But I still have fingers crossed that we'll get it eventually.
One day, this too shall happen.
That's right.
One day. Am I gonna start singing Sugar Ray?
No, you're not.
Damn it.
Nobody wants that, especially out of their presidential candidates.
I do.
No, but you know what people do want to know, Willie? They want to know more about the Gonna Geek Network and all the different shows on there, the ones that we always talk about and say, hey, maybe you should go check out this show, because there's 25 plus shows in the network. We can't highlight them all, but we can let Willie highlight one of those shows for you and say, hey, maybe you guys should go check that out. Willie, what show is that?
Well, today I'm going to be talking to you about On the Bubble Podcast, Prayers for the Dying, Saving Canceled Shows. Josh was lucky enough to be asked on to follow Gonna Geek Culture Podcast in defense of, to discuss fan campaigns and fan actions around struggling TV shows. Back to you, Chris.
Willie, I think you're just stupid.
That's fair.
What the hell voice was that?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to finish off the podcast with it.
Oh, God. So, guys, On the Bubble Podcast, one of the newest additions of the network. Really do encourage you guys to go check it out. They like to talk about shows that are on the bubble, that are facing cancellation, campaigns to save them, what can be done to save them. It's a very good show. Go check it out for yourself. On the Bubble Podcast, all the other shows in the network. Head on over to GonnaGeek.com. Click on the network button or go to GonnaGeek.com/network. But looking at the time, we are going to start wrapping things up, and we wrap things up each week with a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe you'll want to go check them out for yourselves. So I will go first, because why not?
You don't want this voice to come in first?
I don't. So Saturday, I woke up yesterday morning and I decided to go be productive. I went downtown. There's a farmer's market every Saturday morning. Went to go get a bunch of stuff. The nice side note was, since it's downtown, there are a ton of Pokestops and gyms down there. So I just went to the farmer's market and then just hit up a ton of Pokestops, Poke gyms. I took over 2 gyms yesterday before it was all said and done and left and went back home. I think I spent more time playing Pokemon Go than I did actually at the farmer's market though. So maybe that's problematic. But it was fun. Once it started raining, I gave up on that. Let's see. I also went on Friday night. Willie was talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. I saw Action Point in theaters. It's the new Johnny Knoxville flick. It's interesting. Like I said in the pre-show, I'm glad I movie passed it, because if I'd spent my own money on it, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But it was fun. It was dumb. It was one of those things I went, I'll go see this when it's on Netflix. And I paused and said, wait, you have movie pass. Just go see it now. Who gives a crap? So I went and saw it now. I enjoyed it. I'm sure, Willie, you seem to enjoy it more than I did when we talked about it in pre-show. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's the fair thing.
God damn it, I was really hoping he was going to stop on that.
No, that is fair to say. Although I got my own private screening in the movie because there was no one else that bought a ticket at 2:30 on Friday.
Yeah, I went to the Friday at 6 o'clock showing, and when I got in the theater, there was maybe 10 people in there. By the time the movie started, there was maybe 20, 25 people in there. So I really doubt Action Point is going to be taking the box office by storm this weekend.
And I might be a little upset about that, come to find out during what I'm into.
Ooh, so we'll get to that here in a second. Some of the other stuff I've been getting into. I talked about it last week. I bought Overwatch when it was down to $20. I've been playing that off and on my Xbox. And then I've also been replaying one of my favorite games I bought on Steam ages ago. It's called Broforce. It's like Contra, but with characters from 80s and 90s action movies. I've been replaying that,
streaming it,
and I've been playing it on Twitch because I was like, hey, let's have some fun on this, because I can make fun of just how bad I suck at this game while I'm playing it. And there's been some pretty epic deaths where I've been like, how the hell did I die like that? I don't understand.
Well, let's be fair. There are some bros that are better than the others.
Yes, that is also true. I wish I could eliminate some of the bros from being in my list, because it would make life a lot easier.
I wish I had a list where it shows you all the bros. But
yes, that being said, though, I really like the fact with that game, it seems like they're constantly adding new bros to it, because I've unlocked stuff. I'm like, I don't remember having this in the past.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. If you think you might like it, go on Steam and you can download a version of it that's free. It's called The Expendabros, which is a homage to The Expendables, but it's basically Broforce with Expendables characters, and you get an idea whether it's a game that you would enjoy. I like it.
Expendable characters in the actual Broforce game?
I don't think they actually have their expendable character names in there. They use the other movies they're from.
So is there even a Terry Crews in there?
No, I haven't found him in Broforce. He might be in Expendabros.
Huh. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to replay part of it. And the other thing I've been getting into is they dropped the first half of season 5 of Arrested Development. I have 2 episodes left of that to watch now. It's been funny. I like Arrested Development, so I've enjoyed it. Willie, I'm going to throw things to you so you can talk about Action Point and whatever else you got into this week.
Yeah, so my problem with Action Point was... No, I'm not.
I'm so glad you self-censored right there.
Yeah, I'm going to spare you. Even though I find it hilarious. So Action Point, I put it on a lot of my screens for the Fantasy Movie League, and I am currently in last place by a lot. So I hope the rest of the weekend is pretty good for Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville fucked you.
I mean, it's a good movie. I would say it is a perfect movie pass movie, for sure.
Yeah, it's totally.
So Bachman, you should go see it today.
I might.
Yeah. So I can get some better numbers.
Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that today. Maybe I'll go see it Monday.
Look,
it won't count for Willie's screening.
Oh, you should go see it today.
I think he's in last place. It's not going to help him that much.
Yeah. I think
one ticket's not going to bring him up $33 million.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see let me see how far down I am. Let's go from first place to me. Let's see just how big let's scroll down. Gonna Geek. So first place, 71 million. Yeah, 71.9 million. I'm sitting at 38.5 million.
Yeah. Gotham City Cineplex, they just updated the thing, and he just snuck above me and Cage and Sean, and it's the smallest difference I've ever seen. We're behind by 169,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about that because I'm down by a couple decade millions.
Yeah, you're starting off the season at the bottom.
Hey, but you're looking at the spring 2018 Fantasy Movie League Gonna Geek champion here. You can't take that away from me. Number one.
It's true. He did win. He did win it last time.
There was a little scare when my theaters did not update that 1 week because apparently they changed it where you only update one of your leagues and not all of them. But luckily, I got to send an email and they fixed it, even though it was like Wednesday afterwards.
Yeah, it was nice of them to do that update because a lot of people like you were fucked.
Yeah, that might have took away my actual winning, even though I did set my screens. I did set them.
Well, you set a set of screens, just not in all your theaters. And
I'm
that's
sorry,
the problem, it didn't copy to all the leagues.
If they're gonna make a major update like that, where you only change a screen, there needs to be a notification to pop up when you start it up after an update like that.
Agreed. They need to publicize it then.
Because that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, because all they had was they added a red link that said copy screens with a question mark.
I didn't even see that. Didn't even notice it.
Yeah, it was there, but I didn't notice it either. I just happened to set the one set of screens I set were on Gonna Geek. I didn't set it on our other ones. Like the one league that we still technically have that's you and me. I didn't set mine in there, but I didn't worry about it because I was like, I'm not really playing in that one.
Oh yeah, I won that one too.
Well, yeah, it's just the two of us. So if you beat me in the main one,
Chris
you're gonna beat me in the other one. Yeah, when he occasionally sets his screens.
I haven't set my screens at all this year.
What to say?
All right, I will try and remember to come back next season. The problem is, I always forgot to set my screens.
All right, that's fair.
Next season has started, but
they need
you're
an
only
Android app.
behind.
If there was an Android app, I'd remember. That was the thing. Instead of having to go through the website, because then it would pop up a notification on my phone, and I'm more likely to see it. No joke.
Do they not have an Android app yet?
They didn't when I was playing it. It was only an iOS app.
And going on, did also kickstart like a card game, and I'm looking forward to be it's the first set of it got sent out. If you just got the card game, the level I kickstarted at, you get the card game and a little plushie. The company is called Lethal Chicken. The actual card game is called What the Film. But yeah, Lethal Chicken, you actually get a plush of like a chicken with like an eye patch and like the scar going down. It's pretty cool. So if you got the plush, you gotta wait for that to come in too with the game.
Chris, Google Play Store.
Oh, good, they have it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been in there.
Looks like they did it.
There wasn't when I was playing actively. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I've had it on the Droid for a long time.
I will download. I wish you'd told me that then. I wouldn't have felt like such a jackass.
When I started playing it. That's the only thing.
Because it didn't exist. It didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
It did not exist.
Stop fighting!
It was a shitty app, but they kind of updated where it's okay, except for when they do it where they don't tell you, hey, you might need to do this to all your fucking leagues.
I'm installing it right now. I will come back.
Oh, we're gonna have a comeback kid here.
Once
Don't worry.
Once I remember my password.
Chris.
You have a small hurdle to match me up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're really not that far behind in the first season. So, and yeah, it was, or the first week of this season, because it wasn't a huge weekend anyways. The three of us at the top were at 71 million each. So it's not a giant weekend.
I just logged in. Here is the Gonna Geek one, and yeah, I will come back and I will start playing again.
And speaking of
Tuesday, set your screens.
So what it is there's a bunch of different cards. I think it's character, plot, and setting. It all has you. And then everyone has to go around and pretty much come up with a whole movie. And then everyone votes for which movie they would more likely see.
Oh, I like the sound of this.
It is called What the Film.
And it was a Kickstarter?
Yep.
Is it still out there to be Kickstarted, or is it closed already?
No, it's already closed because they're already sending it out. And there was actually a quick Kickstarter too. I think I Kickstarted like 3 months ago.
Well, the question is, do they have a link to buy the finished product now on their Kickstarter, which some of them do?
Look up What the Film.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm checking.
Or I would just say Google it.
I found their Facebook right now. So.
Yep, they have a buy now button on their Facebook page.
There you might even get it before I do. just because I have to wait on that plush. They said the last email said they're waiting on customs to let it get through.
The company is Lethal Chicken Games.
Yep.
I like it.
Did you see do you like the little the chicken? The look of it?
Oh, is that the plushie you're getting?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it looks like a little soft plush, cheeky doll, but he's got like a scar over his eye, an eye patch, and a bandolier with grenades in it. That is a cool looking plushie.
And so what you do, you have to draw 7 cards and make sure you have like each of the 3 so you can actually make a movie. And you have to pick 3 out from your hand to put all together. There's a lot of like 80s movies or like, regular movie tropes to it. Like, actually you're like, oh, this is from that movie.
It's available at Target and Target.com.
But the fun is when you have to mix and match them. I got Ghostbusters in my John Wick. So that's where the fun is, where you have to actually be creative and come up with stuff. What reminds me of another game me and my friends started playing called Super Fight.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that one. I think Cody Goff was telling me about that. That looks awesome.
Oh, yeah, we've played it a couple times, and it's fun. Although, I'm going to call my friend out, Hannah, on some bullshit.
Uh-oh.
Because she had the character card of Emperor Penguin. And she was like, no, Penguin's just the name. He's just an emperor. I was like, no, it's a fucking penguin. That's a genus of penguin. An Emperor Penguin. This is some bullshit. He doesn't have a fucking army to command.
She argued that it was the penguin, but he had won the world and became emperor.
No. Just someone named Penguin, not the Penguin from Batman.
I see. She could have been even better. She should have argued that.
Yeah. She liked to throw out some bullshit. Like, now she had a point that is shown in a lot of media, but I was apparently a 3-star story mad scientist, and she was an ice hockey player, and I gave her the setting of a frozen lake. I gave her that. But she was saying, no, well, I mean, you move so slow. Like, why? I mean, I was like, how? And I thought back in media, how come giants move so slow compared to like people running around? It makes no sense. Look how fast an ant moves. Look how much I can do. Smash, done. I never understood that. I mean,
physics.
Yeah, look at the physics to me to a mouse. Who can run faster? Probably a mouse because I have a bum leg, but
yeah, mouse has got you. Mouse ain't got the gout.
Yeah, I still got a big old lump on my knee.
Oh,
that sounds uncomfortable. And a big thank you to Drasman in the chat room who saved me from having to write show notes this week.
Yeah,
yay!
With
and
our Arrested Development write-up.
Yes,
there you go. And also I got a new board game in. When I ordered it Wednesday. It was a $55 board game though. But opening it up, it's a big box. So I was like, oh, okay. There's a lot of figurines in here. It's a game called Blood Rage. Anyone heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
I feel like I should have.
Be careful if you ever look it up on Amazon, because it also has like some expansions and all that. Because there's something else that is $55, and it's nothing more than a foam holder for all your figurines and cards.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, why is it the same price as the fucking game itself for just a holder, like a foam holder for all this? Fuck that. The original box is good enough for me. Even though Amazon did send me a fucking busted out box, like one of the corners, like it's just split down, and one of the other corners, like looks like it's smashed in a little bit.
You can complain to them and they'll make it right.
I'm okay. It's not. I mean, actually, it makes it a little easier to open up when that one slit's just open. Yeah. I'm okay with it.
So
it's just the box.
I found the film game. You can buy it on their site right now for $29 with free shipping.
I forget how much I kickstarted it for.
It's supposedly available at Target and Target.com, but I didn't see it on Target's website.
Let's see. I saw some movies. Oh yeah, I finally watched Atomic Blonde.
How did you like it?
It was all right. The plot is very hard to follow. Very hard to follow. So be careful with that. And I also watched Slight, the one with the kid who could.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, I was so confused about how he could do some of the things. I thought, like, did I miss how he described it? No, it was like about 10 minutes later. But I looked it up. I was like, maybe I missed it, and looked. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
it
little
tells
weird.
you later in the movie. You just have to keep watching.
Yeah, I thought I missed it by accident, so I looked it up. I mean, it didn't ruin anything for me.
Yeah, that's a good one because it's got what's his name? Dune Hill, the guy from Psych. Seeing him as a drug dealer that's running a gang and being all violent was fucking funny.
What's he from?
Psych.
Psych and Suits and
Suits?
West Wing.
I'll say
And
he
West
looked
Wing,
familiar, but I never watched
Yeah.
Psych.
Because
So.
almost every role he's ever been in, he's a really nice, like gentle person. And seeing him as a guy running a gang and being a drug dealing asshole, like it was cool to see him in a very different role. Because at first it was a little shocking. It's like, wait, that's Hill. Like, whoa, wow, he's violent. Holy shit.
All right, so I found it. Here's what I pledged for the Kickstarter for What the Film. I pledged $39. It's called The Reward Dinner and a Movie. You get the one copy of What the Film, includes all 400 cards, an 80s movie pack Kickstarter exclusive 12-card mini expansion, and a fully detailed Lethal Chicken plush. And all includes stretch goals. I don't even remember what the stretch goals were.
I don't know, but I just bought it myself right now too because they had a few left on their site, so I have a copy. I did not buy myself a chicken though.
Let me see what the the things were.
So while Willie's looking that up, Anthony, what have you been getting into?
I've been getting into looking up the Body Bags Kickstarter was originally to be delivered in May of 2016. So yeah, it's 2 years behind schedule.
That's problematic.
Yeah. It'll be awesome once it's done because Jason Pearson's artwork and his writing is great. But yeah, it's behind schedule, but it's not canceled. So I'm not too worried about it. It happens. Like I said, in the Fantasy Movie League, I'm doing okay for the start of this season, but I dropped down into third, which me and Cajun Strong are actually tied second and third. We both picked the exact same screens. We went heavy on the upgrade, which upgrade seems to be doing pretty good. It's looking at a 4.5 million for the weekend, so not bad for a smaller film that had some really cool previews. But what I have been killing at is the Fantasy Comic League, where we just got our cards in this morning from Brian, so I haven't posted them yet for the league, though I'm pretty sure Danger Room was already pretty much convinced that I was going to win this first month of the new season because I have both the Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Miss Marvel on my team for Team Alliteration, and it looks like I put up 145 points.
Jesus.
Yeah, Daily X-Men Facts at Daily X-Men Facts on Twitter is in second on my team. He has 91. So yeah, I almost doubled the amount of points of the person in second place. Yeah, I crushed it. So yeah, I'll be picking last in the draft today. Yay!
Congratulations, you just fucked yourself.
Exactly. But yeah, I've been doing that. I used my movie pass yesterday to go see Ready Player One. I wanted to catch it on the big screen before it left the main theater at the Edwards, and I'm really happy I did because yeah, like everybody said, that was just nostalgia candy, and it was cool seeing a lot of the stuff, and it was a really simple storyline, which I heard a lot of people complain about, that like there wasn't much really going on. But I don't know, I enjoyed it because it was really just a very simple storyline and nostalgia porn. Like it was just, hey, remember the 80s? And which from what I understand is exactly what the book was. So it tells me that the movie was a pretty good interpretation of the book from what I've heard. So yeah, at some point I'm ready now. I need to go read that book because yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. And then yeah, the bouncing back and forth between the real world and the VR world was really cool. And then yesterday I was flipping around Netflix and just had a headache and was sitting in my chair and didn't want to do nothing. So I was like, I'm going to watch something. And I was just flipping around, and I had not watched Dear White People yet. And so I watched the first season of that, or the first 10 episodes of Volume 1. That is a hell of a show. It is really entertaining. I'm excited to watch the second volume. It's race relations on a college campus, and it's I don't know, kind of hard to describe because it's got humor in it, but it's very dramatic. So it's a really good show. It's well written, it's well acted, and it's really damn entertaining. And some of the funny stuff on it that was like laugh out loud funny. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And then I finished my Marvel Cinematic Universe rewatch and re-rank, and I made some of my online friends unhappy because Winter Soldier is no longer in my top 5. Sadly, it has been bumped down to number 6. But yeah, I finished Black Panther again on my Blu-ray the other day, and so where it stands now, I have them as Spider-Man: Homecoming, Captain America: Civil War, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, and Iron Man are my top 5 Marvel Cinematic films. So, yeah, that's done. And then I was working on some sketch cards. I'm doing a series of I started doing drawing my little mini Funko Pops while I was at work, just to get myself back in the habit, kind of bust off the rust, and get some drawing done. And I drew I started a Ghostface, and then I did Billy from Saw, then I did a Chucky, and then now Jason Voorhees. So I'm doing a sketch, basically sketch cards that I'm just calling Little Killers. So I'm doing a bunch of the little doing drawings of the mini Funko Pops of all the slashers. So yeah, that's been fun. I've got 2 of them inked, and the Billy is fully Copic colored so far. I've got Chucky and Jason drawn. I need to ink those, and those have been helping me kind of kick off the rust, because I'm working on the 2 prizes for the Fantasy Comic League season top scores last season. So Sista and Vinny got 1st and 2nd in the league last season. So I'm doing free color commissions for them. And honestly, I've redrawn each one like 4 or 5 times, and I just couldn't find a pose I liked on the characters they wanted, and it was just pissing me off. And so that's why I was working on the sketch cards, to just kind of think of something else so that I wouldn't keep hitting a problem with a hammer. And it seemed to work, because now I redid Vin's layout, and I really like it. And I need to just redo the one for Sista, because I really want to draw the character she gave me to draw, but I've drawn. It's one of those things where you put the pose down, you start filling in the character, and it's like, I hate this, and you erase it and start over. And after you do that like 4 or 5 times, it gets kind of annoying until you find a pose and a setup and a page layout that you like. So yeah, hopefully now I'll do a little bit more of that today. And then I was planning on having my next Kickstarter ready for today, and I got behind working on all the other stuff. And I haven't done a video yet, and I haven't finished the write-up, but I got the pledges figured out. So yeah, it's been delayed. I'm thinking I might have it ready for next weekend. If not, then the weekend after that. But I should hopefully still launch it in June. It just won't be June 3rd, because as you can tell, it is June 3rd, and I don't have my Kickstarter ready. So yeah, if you put money aside, just keep it in your pocket, put it in your bank. Kickstarter's coming. It's just it's a little behind schedule.
But it's coming. Have no fear.
It's coming.
Well, guys, I think we just wrapped up another episode.
I did find out those Kickstarter or the stretch goals. Apparently, I'm gonna get 25 extra cards. Those 12 extra cards they already called for. One stretch goal is for 6 monster expansion pack. One is for 6 superhero pack, and then 1 individual card. Apparently you get 1 actor card of Paula Abdul.
Nice. You get Paula Abdul.
Yep. And pretty much what it is, there's like 4 different types of cards. There's like character plots.
Sorry.
Oh, and setting. There's also game changer cards called industry cards, which all do different things. Like you could steal points from friends and whatnot, or help them out. They all do different things. I can't read it. It's such small print. So,
well,
so I hope to get Paula Abdul.
Well, I think that is going to start wrapping things up. Sorry, I had a complete brain fart there.
You're trying to close the show, Chris.
Stop. I was going to make some comment on presidential aspirations that you had, and then I totally lost it. Wow. Yeah, total Space Cadet moment. So thank you everyone who did come and join us today for episode 314 of the show. Don't forget we'll be back next Sunday live 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over on Geeks.live, the streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. If you want to hang around over on Geeks.live in 25 minutes, it's the next episode of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast recapping the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not sure what they're talking about this week in all honesty. And if you want to come back at 6 p.m., the Starling Tribune is discussing Legends Tomorrow, episode 6, I believe it is, from season 3. And then finally, 9 p.m. tonight, PopXcast. There's tons of streaming content over on Geeks.live, so please feel free to go check any or all of that stuff out. We greatly encourage it. You guys have any final thoughts for us as we start to shut this stream down, or at least go over to the post show?
Post show! Yay!
Remember, vote for Willie Nelson because your other option is Trump.
What have we done?
You're not supposed to say that name.
What have we done?
But that is your other option.
So, thank you so much, everyone that joined us. Thank you, Draftsman, for basically writing the show notes for me this week. And we will see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Stay for the post show for my arguments.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.